Hello and welcome to this edition of One-on-One Sports Webcast. I'm Evan Piercy.
And I'm Mason Stelf. And on the show today, we have NFL coaching changes, a look at the NHL trade deadline, and we finish it all off with a little Champions League soccer.
But before all that, we're going to get things rolling with the three strikes. The problem with social media is that it never really goes away. And tennis star Genie Bouchard got caught up in a Twitter bet with a fan over the outcome of the Super Bowl. Now the stakes were, if the Patriots came back and won, which they did, Genie had to go on a mystery date with this man. Now, as we know, Patriots won. Genie went on the date. What do you make of this?
I think this is fantastic. Now, I didn't want the Patriots to win, but I'm happy that they won just because this happened. This is beautiful. Props to Genie for actually owning up and going on the date.
Honestly, props to her. But aren't they on their second date now?
Yeah, this is actually great because it worked. And like she said, he's incredibly normal. He brought a nice gift
and
to her
attractive.
on the date.
Let's not. He is fairly good looking.
But the fact that this worked out to me is so happy, and I really hope that it works out for the future and maybe even for her career because she had a really rough year on the tennis tour last year. And I'm hoping that maybe this new relationship sparks a comeback for her in her tennis career as well.
I mean, I'm just looking at this guy. He's like, hey, if the Patriots win, let's go on a date. Not possibly thinking oh, the Patriots are never going to come back.
Never.
The off chance they do. But it does. And they come back. They win. He's like, Imagine
all his buddies. Oh my gosh, dude, you just landed a date with Genie Bouchard. This is fantastic.
It's amazing to think we can live in a world where you can actually see this happening because as you said, Genie owned up to the bet. What if she didn't? The Twitter world would have had
absolutely.
Everyone would have been like, what are you doing? Going back on your word? You should go on the date with him. You promised.
So this is one of those feel-good sports stories.
It's one of those really feel-good sports stories that we just love to talk about, and I'm really interested to see what happens. I want to see if there's a third date.
Yeah, I hope so. I certainly do.
Yep.
LeVar Ball, father of UCLA star Lonzo Ball, recently said in a TMZ interview that his son will be better than Steph Curry in the NBA. And this isn't the first time that Ball has publicly expressed his opinions on his son's playing ability. Evan, do you think that parents should be making statements like this about their kids?
Okay, to an extent, as a parent, you want your kid to succeed.
Of course.
But look, Steph Curry took LeBron's crown of the NBA last year.
Yeah,
LeBron, arguably might have it back now, but that's a different argument for a different day. You don't go out and say that your son is going to be better than Steph Curry when, Steph Curry is going to put your son on skates the moment he steps in the NBA. Because he's going to hear this. He's going to come out and put him on skates.
I mean, first of all, if your son's as good as you're saying he is, the two California teams he can end up on are the Lakers and the Kings, not the Warriors. I personally think if Lonzo wants to make these statements, let Lonzo make these statements. As the dad, don't go out there tooting your son's horn. First of all, he's still in college. He's a freshman in college.
He's one of the top freshmen in college. He's really exciting to play. I personally enjoy watching him play, but do I think he's better than Steph Curry? Absolutely not. He doesn't have the experience, and he doesn't have the experience against top defensive teams because
I don't want Lonzo having any more pressure than he already needs to. Everyone is heaping praise on this kid, expecting him to be the next big thing. You don't need your dad saying, my son is going to be the next LeBron James, the next Steph Curry. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
This is all question marks, but, only time will tell whether he is better than Steph Curry.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, UConn women's basketball team won their 100th straight game last week. Now, this is not the first time they've come close to this mark and will most likely not be the last. Now, Mason, is this the greatest team streak in sports history?
Among the four major U.S. sports, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, yes, it is. I'm going to give some props to Kenyan swimming, Division III, 31 straight.
Well, I have another swimming. Why you bring up swimming? Okay. Why you bring up swimming? I'm going to say yes, 100 straight wins is great, but Richmond swimming, 15 out of the last 16 years, they've won the A10 champs.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible, but Kenyan winning 31 straight national titles. Yes, it's D3. And I'll also give some props to Trinity, who won 200-plus straight games and 13 national titles in squash. But among the four major sports, this is unprecedented. And what's crazy about this streak, if they don't lose this season, which it definitely doesn't look like they're going to, they're landing Azare Stevens, a transfer from Duke, and Batuli Kamara, a transfer from Kentucky, along with the #1 recruiting class in the country again. This streak might reach 200, crazy it is to say.
I mean, it's amazing to think they've been able to carry this streak this long because they do face really good teams, and come tournament time, it's gonna be interesting when they face teams that are bigger than them, like Baylor.
I think that Baylor and South Carolina have the tools where if they play to the best of their ability, and UConn has another off night like they did against Tulane the other day, they can be beaten.
Yeah. I mean, anyone can be beaten any night, but congratulations to them winning.
Oh, absolutely! This is ridiculous.
Last time they did get to 99, and they were so close.
the 99 game home winning streak, and then they lost to St. John's. That was ridiculous.
Oh, that hurt. I watched that. That hurt. I felt really bad for them. But now to be able to see them do that, and especially win the game at home in front of their hometown fans.
And what's great about this is that it's bringing women's basketball into the mainstream media. That South Carolina game was the #1 game watched on ESPN2 all season, so that's great.
It was absolutely great. I enjoyed watching it. 3 strikes, we're out and on to the show, where I'll be joined at the desk to talk some NFL coaching changes. You don't want to miss this.